Hello, my YouTube family and friends. I pray that everyone is having a beautiful, blessed Friday. We're at the end of another week, y'all, and we made it to another end of the week. You know, it just seems like we do the same thing every week. Well, not the same thing, but I guess some of the same things, I guess, if you will. But again, I'm not complaining, and I know you all are not complaining because it's just a blessing to be alive. It really is. But I just wanted to hop on here. This channel, I like to be transparent. I like to, be honest. Be truthful. There's freedom when you're truthful and you're honest. The enemy can't hold you, captive to anything when you're putting it out there. You've already told Jesus, and then you share it with other people so that they can be encouraged. And so that's my whole goal in this channel, is to help somebody, because we're not in this world for just ourselves. God did not create us just for us to do what we want to do and not worry about anybody else. We're supposed to help one another, and I thank him for the people he has placed in my life to help me, because I'm just gonna be honest here. The death of my husband hit me again today, like a ton of bricks. I was I don't know, it's no rhyme or reason. It just, like I was telling my supervisor, it just comes whenever it comes. And I've been through grief share. It's not depression or anything like that. It's just you miss somebody you've been with for a long time. And we were married for 21 years, and every time I say, well, I'm good, I'm okay, but and I've talked to people, that are older than me or younger than me, and they say, when I was in grief share, there was a lady, and she was saying it. I think it's had been longer than the time my late husband has passed away, and she said it's been hard, And then some people, it just depends upon the situation. I've talked to people, a woman here, and she said she's not glad that her late husband is dead, but she said that she now she get to do what she want to do. So everybody has different reactions to it, and I guess my reaction is I think it's solely based upon the relationship you had. If there was a strained relationship, it just depends on what was going on. And my late husband, y'all, I've shared this before. He was such a godsend for me. He was just a blessing. And he used to tell me all the time. He would say it, and he would say it jokingly, but I never thought it was going to actually come to pass. Not with him losing, him leaving the earth, and I'm still here. Thought we were going to maybe go together or whatever. I didn't know how it was going to happen, but you don't even want to think about stuff like that. When people are saying stuff like that, you're like, okay, I'm living in the moment, I don't want to talk about that. But he was one that kind of sort of planned ahead. He thought ahead, and he tried his best to stay prepared as much as he could, and as much as God allowed him to do that. But he often would say, y'all gonna miss me when I'm gone. And those words rang so true now. They rang so true, y'all. And that's why it's so important for us to treat people right, especially people who we live in a household with. You just don't know. They walk out the door, you walk out the door, or you wake up the next day, you thinking everything is going to be the same as it was the day before, and everything's changed. And that's what I was sharing with my supervisor. I was letting her know that, I said, don't mean to be a crybaby, because I was boo-hooing in her face, and I'm at the point, I don't care about, how I look to people. I was apologizing because, we're in a work environment, but she said, no, you don't have to apologize. And I was letting her know, it's no depression or anything. It's just love. I miss him. I really do. And it's, I feel like, that's what she said. She said, you haven't stopped. And I said, no, I haven't. And I said, maybe that's the issue though, because, we didn't even get a chance to grieve. When we left, when he passed away, in 2021, it was full speed ahead, because that's when God told us to move, and I was trying to get the house fixed up, get the house remodeled, do this, do that, And every day, I don't think it was a day after he passed away that I had a chance just to rest. Because the girl, my two my daughters were still in school. My oldest daughter, she's getting ready to graduate that next year. She was a junior when he passed away. And so, no, I'm sorry, she was a senior. She was a senior when he passed away. Because, yeah, she was graduating. She graduated May of 2022. So yeah, she was a senior. My other daughter, so it was nonstop. It was nonstop. So, again, I didn't get a chance to rest, and neither did my children, because my youngest son, my oldest son, he didn't live with us. He's married, but the younger three, they were there, and we were trying to get that house together and taking stuff to Goodwill. It was just something to do every day, and then between times, I was going over, trying to, the little time that I did have, I would try to visit my parents or whatever, because I knew we were leaving, trying to get in a little visit time with them. But yeah, we didn't get a chance to. And then when we moved here, it was just constant, movement, because we was trying to find a place to live. We stayed in a hotel for a while because we didn't have a place to live. And or we had the money, but we didn't, nobody would let us have a place to live. They were like, no, you don't have a job. And I'm like, well, of course I don't have a job, because we just moved here. Give me time. And so, but they didn't want to hear that. But that was just God's way. That no was God's way of me resting, because again, I got a chance. I shared this in a previous video. The Lord allowed me to rest, and He, and I think for that time that I should have rested, I did not. I didn't use it wisely, because I thought I was okay, and I kept saying, I'm good. I don't need to go to Grief Share. And I think I shared this before. I went in sort of prideful and arrogant at that first session, and then I had to circle back because someone had mentioned to me, I went in for prayer, the church that we attend, and the minister said, have you tried Grief Share? And I said, yeah, and he said, try it again. And I'm so glad I did. I know that was the Holy Spirit speaking through him, because that time around, it was so needed. I really needed it. I mean, I cried. All of us cried and boohooed in those sessions, and it was just such a blessing. It was such a blessing. But I was telling my supervisor, I said, while we were talking, because she was telling me, about what her lost and everything, and I was telling her, I said, until it happens to you, you don't fully understand the magnitude of this, and I really been trying to be strong as much as I can. I come on here, I do videos, and sometimes I cry in the midnight. I was telling her, I said, I cry in the midnight hour, because I try not to let my children see me crying, because I want to be strong. But sometimes God said, let me be strong for you. And so that's where I'm at, because I don't, to be honest, I don't have anybody to talk to but Jesus, and which that's enough. That's fine with me. But what I'm saying is that, people who he has separated us from, it's no longer a commonality there. It's no more common ground there. Like, I used to could call up, certain relatives and talk to them for hours. Now it's, I can't do that. Yeah, I can, but it's not going to do me much good, because they don't understand. I'm learning that the people that he have placed in our path here, those are the people, and that's how I know that we're where we are supposed to be. Because people, I've said this so many times, y'all, measure who God has placed around you. Measure the people, the character. Because I was telling my supervisor, I've never worked at a place where people have been so understanding, and she brought up about, we both laughed, because that was so funny, because I would have never did this back in Tennessee, never. But she brought up, she said she shared it with some other people at the job about, I had DoorDash back when we had we had a really bad big snow. They were coming like sort of sporadically towards before now. I forget what month it was, the last one that we had that I'm referring to. But I remember they called for it, said it was gonna snow, and so it was like, yeah, whatever. I woke up that next morning and the car was completely covered with snow, y'all. And I didn't have I had, when we moved out of the rental home, I uh, got rid of the shovel, because the man that everyone had been telling me, they said, I know you're not used to a lot of snow, but go ahead and get you a snow shovel and just keep one on hand. And so when we, how when you move, you want to get rid of a lot of stuff. So I got rid of that one. We had a pretty nice one. I think I got it from Lowe's or somewhere, but I got rid of it because you know how you just trying to get rid of stuff to lessen the move. And so I wish I hadn't, but I ended up door dashing because I was like, I gotta get to work. But I never have done that before, and I was letting her know that. And I said, when I was in Tennessee, I would have called in a heartbeat because I one thing, I didn't like my job. Two, that's just I had no love for it like that. So I would not have ever did that at any job I worked for in Tennessee. So she even one of the other managers, they were laughing. He said I didn't even know you could door I didn't even know you could DoorDash a snow shovel. I was like, yeah, it did the duty. It did the job too. And I forget how much. It wasn't even that much. It was like, I think it was like $20, $25 or something. And so it was a blessing that I had the money to do it. But it was so funny. They thought that was so funny. But I said, yeah, I wanted to get to work. And I said, I the Lord allowed me to get to work. And I was running late. But I got to work because my son had told me, he said, Mama, because he left that day, his shift was before mine, and so he said, Mama, it's snow out here. And I said, oh yeah, I'll just push it off the car. That car was this car that I'm in, it was covered. It was literally covered. And, I mean, it was deep. And so I had to, it took me, I think me and my oldest daughter, it took us a minute to get that snow off the car. And finally we succeeded. And but anyway, yeah, she said she still remember about that. I said, yeah. And so, a lot of times, and that's what I wanted to share that because, that's what I mean about being strong. I was telling her, one of the people that I know back in Tennessee, she had said, that's when I was on Facebook, and she said, don't stop living. That's what she told me. And so, I said, no, never. But again, I think a lot of times we have to realize that a lot of stuff we can't do in our own strength. And we need to realize that when we can no longer do it in our strength, then that's when we need the Lord to intervene on our behalf. We need Him to help us because, I've talked to people and their loved ones, some of them have passed away. It's been years. It's been like, I'll never forget, the young man back in Tennessee. I was going back and forth because I had to, it was at the U-Haul place, get boxes, and he was telling me, and it just really shook my soul because, and it really blessed me too at the same time. But he was like young enough to be my son, but he said, "Ma'am, my grandmother passed away," and because I was telling him while we were moving, and he's like, "Why are y'all moving to Colorado?" And we were just talking, and I told him about it was a Jesus move, this, that, and the other, and he said, "Yeah," he said, my grandmother passed away, and he was saying that he had become really close to his grandmother because his grandmother, was always at him and his mom's house, and said, how you just, that's a relative that's always over there, and of course she passed away and everything, but he said it was really hard for him, to deal with it after the fact, that she's gone, and so I told him, I said, yeah, I said, she, it's just part of life, and so me and him was just sort of witnessing to each other, and he was married and I think they had a child or two. I can't remember. I think they had one child, and but we were just talking, and it was really a blessing. The Lord just really blesses me to talk to people, and that's why I try not to, when I go in a store or something, I try to be alert and be, just be mindful of who's around me, because when we first moved here, I was able to notice a lot of people around me, and I just end up talking to them, and we'll share faith stories or whatever. But again, a lot of times we want to be strong, we want to say, hey, I can do it. And I was sharing with my supervisor that I kept telling the Lord, uh, I want, why couldn't my late husband have lived? Why couldn't I have taken care of him? But then my supervisor said something, and I was like, ooh. So that it was like a light went on in my brain, because it's the truth. I believe it's the truth. And someone else had said this too. She said to me, she said, I told her, I said, why couldn't he have lived? I would have taken care of him. I would have did whatever I needed to do. He's my husband. And then I went on to say that, maybe I wasn't as strong as I thought I was to handle the situation. And then she said, which someone else had said the same thing, she said, and I know this is from God, He wanted me to hear this again, because it's the truth. But she said to me, she said, he probably didn't want you to have to go through that. And I said, whew. And then that's when I started back crying again, y'all. But it's just really, it's really, really a blessing. It's really a blessing. I'm trying not to be a crybaby again, y'all. But it's really a blessing to have people in your life that, God will place in your life to encourage you. Even on your days that, it just seemed like, you're just really missing that loved one. And my heart really goes out to people who, it's on a higher magnitude than what I'm dealing with, because she was asking me, how long has it been? And I said, yeah, it's been 2 years now. And I said, it just, it seemed like it would get lighter, but it doesn't get easier. But you get, I feel like I am stronger, but I feel like the Lord wants me to talk about it. I don't want to be bottled up about anything. The Lord has allowed me to talk to different people here, widows as well, that they've lost their loved ones and stuff. And I thank Him for that. I thank Jesus for that, because you just never know what people are going through and dealing with. And people look at you and they see you dress pretty nice, you look pretty good, and you nice, you pretty, man, you handsome, whatever. But they don't know. They have no idea. And me and my stepfather, we used to say something always to each other. I said, Daddy, you can't look at nobody and tell what they going through. You can't look at them. You can't look at and tell what they going through. And he said, no, there's no way. I said, it's not. I say, people dress up on Sunday. We go to church, and you put on a good front, and I can say that because this is what I used to do. In the South, that's what we do. We do best. That's what we do best there. You got on these fancy clothes. You got your your nails done, toes done, whatever the case may be, your hair done, your wig, whatever you got going on. You look good. You look good on the outside. But I'm talking about myself. I was tore up on the inside. Tore up on the inside. And I was struggling spiritually. But I thank the Lord. He used, I know He did. Nobody can tell me otherwise. I know this without a shadow of a doubt. He used my late husband's death to get my attention, to get me closer to Him, to pull me out of so many snares that I had been in for years. People who meant me no good. They meant me no good. And these were people I looked up to. I put on pedestals. I just loved the ground that they walked on. And a lot of these people, they were so adamant about how they felt about me. I never forget, and I'm just talking here, but I never forget my stepsisters or half-sisters or whatever. They're not really related to me, but they're my stepfather's daughters. But I never forget, how they said different things to me. And I remember this one time, and how you remember stuff sometimes because you start thinking about stuff, and it's like, I did good. I ignored that. I didn't pay any attention to that. But there was one of the, because it was 4 daughters, but one of them, she was sort of like the outspoken one, and I'm not talking about her. I'm telling the truth. This is the truth. It happened, but at the time I ignored it. But she compared me and her, her real sister. She said, y'all are, I can't remember exactly how she phrased it, but she was basically saying, me and the other sister, how we were dumb. Basically that's what she said. And I can't remember how she said it, because what it was, we were at Cracker Barrel, and I was just talking. And I wasn't even thinking what I was saying, but I knew, that you sit there and you wait on them to come get the. You sit there when you get the. We were sitting there talking and whatever, and I was like, I think I had made the comment. It's been a long time ago. I think this is what happened. I made the comment about when they gonna come, and so we can pay and leave. And then it didn't even dawn on me what I had said. I was just talking, because we were all just talking. We had just been finished eating, but we were just how you sit around and just talk. And so not realizing, when you leave at Cracker Barrel, you pay as when you leave, you get in line and you pay. And so I knew that. We had been to Cracker Barrel enough times for me to know that. And I just, like I said, I wasn't thinking, and I just blurted something out. And so she was calling me and the other sister, say, yeah, y'all are dumb, And like I said, I can't remember exactly how she said it, but that's what she was saying, basically stating that we were dumb and did some stuff we just didn't know. And so I was like, man, did she just say that in my face? You just like, did she just say that? And yeah, she said it, and didn't apologize or nothing. She kept right on talking, and I sort of sniggled or whatever, but I was like, oh yeah, she just called me dumb. But again, that's, I didn't hold that against her. I just kept right on. I kept talking and laughing, and we paid for our meal and left the place. But God revealed to me so many things about her, about a lot of the relatives, that it was a lot of jealousy. It was a lot of just a lot of stuff that was going on spiritually. And it really didn't have to be, it really didn't have a whole lot to do with me, but it was about how much I loved Jesus and what I stood for. And they just didn't like it. And I remember this particular relative, she went on to say, you always putting stuff on Facebook about you and your husband. And she called his name. And I said, yeah. I just like to let people, like to share things. And she said, yeah. I don't know if I could do that or something like that. And it was just a random comment. And so I was just like, huh? So my late husband, he used to always tell me, y'all, he said, you better watch, watch them or watch her or whoever. But I, like I said, there was a lot of stuff I ignored. I got to get ready to get back in here, y'all. It was a lot of stuff that I ignored, and I just said, okay, I brushed it off and didn't think much about it. But pay attention, y'all. And but I just wanted to share that. That was in my spirit to share. I'm gonna get back in here and finish this day out. As always, I pray you hear Jesus speaking through me and not just me. Have a beautiful, blessed rest of your day. Have a beautiful, gorgeous weekend. We're gonna try to get out and take the dog to the park tomorrow and get out and enjoy some of this sunshine. In Jesus' name. And always remember, I love you, but Jesus loves you so much more. You already know the best is still yet to come for you and for me. God bless you. God keep you all. Keep me in your prayers, and I will do the same. We will pray for each other. Bye-bye.